Your 20s can either set you up for success or leave you stuck in regret. What if I told you that a few key decisions could make all the difference? From money moves to mindset shifts, these are the game-changing lessons no one teaches you, but you need to know. Miss these, and you'll wish you had a time machine. Ready to take control of your future? Let's dive in. Number 1. You don't do things for you, you do things for future you. This is a lesson that I learned in my later 20s, and it was a pretty simple lesson. Every time I have a decision, I ask myself, what does future me want? So, for example, when I wanted to quit drugs and alcohol, I'd say, what does tomorrow me want? Does tomorrow me want to feel shame and sad? And the first time that I answered no, the days ticked over. Tomorrow me was inevitable because it always is. And I felt, instead of shame, this tremendous amount of self-respect. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Our decisions create our future. I have no idea how that lesson just bypassed me, but it made me think about it in a more long-term sense. I was like, all right, if I make decisions to make tomorrow me happy and that makes my life better, surely if I make decisions to make me 3 years from now happy, that will make my life amazing. So I started doing that. I was like, all right, what does me 3 years from now want? And the cool thing about that is 3 years passing is inevitable. You will become that person and you'll thank yourself 3 years ago and be like, oh man, you really have my back. Thanks for working so hard, or thanks for working on your body, or thanks for investing the time in this or investing the money in this. And I think that was just a really cool lesson to learn. I mean, I've heard all the cliches, you reap what you sow, but to truly experience it was something else. Number 2, work on your willpower. You will never reach your full potential or outwork your rivals if you can't focus for long periods of time. This was true when I was younger, but is even more applicable now with so many distractions fighting for your attention. If you can focus and work hard, you will be miles ahead of everyone else. So why not use this video as a test for yourself? If you can reach the end without skipping and actually listen to everything I say on a deep level, then you will be in the minority. Number 3, become more of a producer than a consumer. I understand consuming content is key, especially if you learn a lot. However, you should always be trying to put more out into the world than you are taking. Otherwise, you will end up robbed of your time and attention. Number 4, if you don't like something, then change it. If you can't change it, then change your attitude. Never complain. I used to be a bit of a complainer, but as I've gone through life, I've realized that 80% of the time, no one cares about your problems, and 20% of them wish they had them in the first place. Even if your whole world is crumbling, complaining won't do anything positive for you. I'm not saying you can't express your feelings, however, it's important to remember we all have our own problems and not many people care about fixing yours. Number 5, never buy an investment without doing your own research. I've seen so many people lose money on poor investments, and usually it's because they didn't take the time to look into it. Make sure you do your homework. Even if you think you might miss out on something big, if someone is pressuring you to invest, that's often a red flag. Number 6, don't compare yourself to your friends. We all have our own path to walk. As long as you're improving on what you've done before, then you're going in the right direction. If you do this for enough years, then you'll look back and be shocked at how far you've come. It's all about taking those baby steps and not getting distracted by what everyone else is doing. Number 7, the thing that I wish I knew in my 20s was that the thing that I was chasing wasn't a thing that was going to fulfill me. And I know it sounds trite, like material success won't make you happy, which is a phrase I'm usually suspicious of because it almost always comes from people who have heaps of material success. But what I've found to be more true is once your needs and standards are met, so once you kind of got like enough money, enough food, enough space around you, and enough freedom, everything beyond that is on you. So I guess the life advice would be, if you're quite focused on traditional success, split that a little bit. And also focus on building up systems within your head that make you appreciate what you got. I finished this book last night by Greg McKeown called Effortless. And there's a really cool quote in it that says, if you focus on what you lack, you lose what you have. If you focus on what you have, you gain what you lack. In short, get your needs met, be grateful, then go for success. Flipping those last two doesn't work. I've tried. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. Number 8, don't be the best, be the only. You can do this by learning seemingly unrelated skills and combining them together. Steve Jobs is well known for mixing his love for calligraphy and design with technology and creating Apple as we know it today. He was the only person doing that at the time. This is one of my golden pieces of advice. Number 9. Focus on one thing at a time. The truth is there is no such thing as multitasking, just multi-failing. So give yourself time to focus on one thing deeply without distractions. Trust me, you'll achieve far more. Number 10. Give yourself permission to make more mistakes. Most of my success has come from my failures. I wish I knew this sooner. I mean, I enjoy skiing with my son, and I remember one year we competed to see who could fall the least. I won as Curtis fell over a lot, however, he improved tremendously. And now he is a much faster skier than me. This just proves that failure leads to improvement if it is embraced. So remember, if you never fell, then you are probably not trying hard enough. Number 11. Don't let a bad day turn into a bad week. It takes less than 5 seconds for someone to ruin your day, and if you're not careful, that can spiral into a whole week of negativity. It's important to let it go so you don't miss out on all the good opportunities that week still has to offer. Number 12. The key to your 20s is to be learning, to be constantly learning, and your mind-opening and learning skills. I want you to think in 2 tracks. I want your life to be on 2 tracks when you're in your 20s. Most people, it's either 1 track or it's like 5 tracks. Okay, I want you to have 2. And what do I mean by that? The 1-track person is, I gotta go to law school. I gotta make a lot of money. My parents are pushing me. I gotta become a doctor. I gotta make 6 figures by this time. I better get that job at Goldman Sachs, etc., etc., etc. As a person who is destined for a life of misery, quite honestly, yeah, you might make a lot of money, but you're going to burn out at some point. It's kind of soulless. It's not going to get anything deep inside of you. You don't really know what's going to end up happening. Your 20s will pass and you will have no fun, no adventures. You won't be learning anymore. It's just that 1 track. Other people have 5 tracks. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to live in a van for a while. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, etc. I'm going to open a restaurant, etc. Great. Fine. You'll have lots of exciting things that will happen to you, and then you'll turn 30. You haven't really built one solid skill. You built a lot of 5 kind of half things, and it set the pattern for your life. You're going to be wandering forever, 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 as opposed to the 1-track person who's going to burn out and is going to become perhaps a drug addict or something like that. You're going to become someone who has no discipline, who just keeps going from this, that, the other thing. And that'll be your pattern. It won't be a very satisfying life. The 2-track mind. The 2-track 20s is the source of power. What do I mean by that? 1 track is you are open, you're adventurous, you're young. For God's sake, you need to have some fun. You need to be open. You're only in your 20s once, right? You want to try some different things. You want to have adventures. I did that in my 20s, not to say that I'm the paradigm for everyone out there, because a lot of things I did wrong, quite honestly. But that was one thing I did. I tried everything, okay? But the 2-track mind is I had focus. I knew that I wanted to be a writer. So all of the different adventures that I had kind of ended up funneling into that. And so although I was doing different things, I was developing real-life skills as a writer. So I want you to think of your life in this sense. I know what I kind of want, where I want to go. I have a direction. This is what I love. I'm meant to be into music, etc. I'm meant to start my own business, etc. I love technology. I'm meant to be an inventor, an innovator of some sort. You have a good, solid sense of what connects to you in the idea of sciences. It's physical activity, it's math, it's music, it's words, it's literature, whatever that is, okay? Now you're able to have some room to explore things. So you try different forms of music out. You try different businesses out. You start this kind of business. You start that kind of business. You have some fun. You're having some adventures, but you're learning. So the key to your 20s is to be learning. To be constantly learning and your mind opening and learning skills. And you're going to learn skills and you're going to keep learning if you're excited by what you're studying. If everything is boring, if it's just law books or finance, etc., your mind will close off. But if you try things that are within that parameter of what you were meant to do and you're excited by it, you're going to be developing different skills. You're going to create that excitement of life. So I want you to bring your youthful energy, your fun, your openness to life. And I want you to give it a little bit of discipline, a little bit of enough focus that you're headed in these two tracks. Adventure. Developing skills. Those two together, that kind of attitude towards life in your 20s will be key. Because what I want is you wake up, you're having your 30th birthday, which will happen hopefully at some point, to your 30th birthday. You go, wow, I know this is what I want to do. I have learned so many great things. I've had so many great experiences. Okay, thanks for watching video. I hope it make big change in your life, so bye-bye.